Welcome back to America Decides. One candidate for Democratic National Committee chair is rapidly building support with just a handful of weeks left to go until that election. Ken Martin, who leads the Minnesota Democrats, his campaign revealed to CBS News that he's secured 51 endorsements from current state party and vice chairs. That brings his total number of public endorsements from voting members to 86. The DNC chair election is scheduled for February 1st. That's less than 3 weeks from today. Hunter Woodall has been following this race very closely for us and is here now. Hunter, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So we're talking about Ken Martin. Kind of put into context for us how many endorsements he has, what this means in the bigger context of whether he can move forward.
You hear so much about endorsements and how much they matter. Any political reporter knows that, right? But this DNC chair's race, there's only, I was checking my numbers here, there's only about 450 or so members that can actually vote in this contest. So this is a very small pool of people actually deciding the next Democratic National Committee chair. I've covered state house primaries in Kansas that have more voters than this. And that's just the thing here. With what Ken Martin has been able to do, that's a sizable share of endorsements at this stage. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but this tells us he obviously is building support from state chairs like himself.
And does this mean that he's the front runner? Kind of who else is running in this race? What can we kind of expect? Who else is kind of thought of as potential contenders?
Well, the other prominent name here is Ben Wickler, the Wisconsin Democratic Party chair. He's well known. He does a lot of media. Obviously represented Democrats in a key presidential battleground state, but also one where Democrats obviously have struggled, especially in this last cycle. So there's that interesting give and take of okay, you represent a swing state, you represent a battleground state, but Democrats lost there more or less. Obviously they won the Senate race, but they lost the presidential race there just a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, Democrats are kind of in the wilderness right now. I mean, I think the biggest question for Democrats this year is what does the party look like? What kind of message are they unifying behind? Does this race give us any sense of kind of some of the themes that Democrats are weighing?
Well, what's so clear is this kind of shock, hurt, and really introspection. Okay, they lost big time. They know they lost big. The awkwardness here is you're running to become the leader of this party, and you're having to go to a lot of folks who helped this loss happen and say, hey, I want to lead you now. So it's a very interesting thing. You're having to kind of delicately make this case of if you're a Democrat, hey, we want change, but how much change do we really want to make? And especially in a race like this, Democratic delegates from Wyoming had the same votes as somebody from Pennsylvania. So you're having to appeal to a really broad coalition to win this race. And that's, what's the interesting tension here so far.
Yeah, well, tough job for whoever wins this race. We'll know in a few weeks now. Hunter, thank you so much for covering it all for us. We appreciate it.